Hi, this is Jill Vanderwood, and this is my third talk about my publishing journey. Last time I talked about hiring an illustrator, and this time I will be talking about how I work with illustrators. First of all, I recommend that you have a contract. Now, I made a mistake by not putting out a contract, and one of my illustrators didn't know what he was allowed to do with the pictures. So now you need to realize that once you hire an illustrator and you pay them, those pictures belong to you. They're your property. So you are the one that determines what they are used for. On the contract, I put things like I can use the pictures for my book promotion. I may use them in crossover books on another one in the series. I can also use the pictures on my website. Then I also point out what my illustrator can use them for. I may give them the right to use them in their marketing and in their promotion as well. But the main thing is, I don't really want those pictures out on the internet until after my book is published, because it kind of gives away too much. So that's one reason why you need to have a contract. At one point, I was deciding to publish 2 books at the same time, and one was a picture book and one was one of my books that I was redoing, Through the Rug. I decided to reprint Through the Rug on the 10th anniversary edition. I'm going to show you the contrast in the covers. Just a minute. This is the first cover from Through the Rug, and it was done by a self-publishing company, and I could never quite get that right. You know, the grandma was supposed to be plump, and here she is, a really skinny grandma. I wasn't quite happy with the cover. Then I had it redone, and I liked it much better. I don't know if you can see that very well, but that's Through the Rug 10th Anniversary Edition. Now, how I hired these illustrators was going on Craigslist. It might seem like a weird thing for a grandmother to do, but I've used Craigslist to sell things before, so I decided to put an ad out on Craigslist, and I got so many responses. But I really wanted to hire somebody local, and I was living in Utah at the time. So the illustrator, I hired 2 illustrators. The first one was the one that did the cover, and his name was Trevor, and he was an art student at the Art Institute in Salt Lake at the time. I also hired Karen, and she did my picture books. This is Santa's Mysterious Boot, and she also did The Year Santa Lost His List, and there's numerous illustrations inside. I started working with Trevor for the inside of my 3rd book, which is in the Through the Rug series. And he did the cover, and he also did the inside illustrations. One of my illustrators and I had kind of a clash because I paid up front. I can't even find the pictures. Okay, here they're in here somewhere. Here's one. He did a really good job. I don't know if you can tell from the video. But then I paid up front and I didn't get the pictures, and I couldn't contact him. He went no contact with me. I had to end up going to the art school and finding a teacher and have them talk to him, and then we got that done. So that was a difficult thing. Why did this stop? And so we went ahead and finished that book. Then Trevor started on a new series for me. It was Off Target, and he started doing the illustrations, and then he had a family problem and he couldn't finish. So I also hired Kara to finish, and she had to do the pictures the way he did, so it was more difficult for her, but she really pulled it off. And she did the cover, which you can see there's a target and a boy with a gun. So that whole series was done by Kara. This one is on the rocks, and when we get to the last book, this is Cheers, and then the last book in that series, Keeping Secrets, you can see where I had her draw the inside pictures, and she took one of the inside pictures and colored it, and that was my cover. And this book, Keeping Secrets, won an award. This is called the Gold Palette, Independent Publications, Keeping Secrets, The Path You Choose, #4 by Jill M. and Vanderwood. And Kara's art design for my cover won Gold Palette, which means it's a cover award. This is my talk about hiring an illustrator, and I will also want to point out that once you hire them, these pictures are yours to do what you want. Like if you wanted to put it on a t-shirt, you could do that. It's yours. But also, you need to have that contract. And sometimes when the pictures come back, I can tell that the illustrator hasn't read the chapter very well, and there are some changes that aren't in the book. So if it's not too bad, rather than having them change the whole picture, which is a lot of work, I will change a few words in my text to go with the pictures. Thank you very much, and have a nice day. And the next talk, #4, will be about hiring an editor.